So right now the world is in a lot of upheaval and it feels like more than ever relationships have been on the rocks as far as our ability to trust one another, our ability to get along, our ability to have adult conversations even with people we love. It's definitely on the global scale. And people often ask us specifically, why is it that we are so passionate about relationships? And we're not just passionate about relationships. We're not just passionate about how to's of relationship. We're passionate about relationship from a global cultural perspective. Rano, I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about your perspective on that.
Well, I think the biggest piece is that most people we live in a world where relationships are like a hobby. Um, they're they're not front and center. They're not um, a healthy relationship is an act of leadership. And when you put time and energy into having a good relationship, you create a thriving culture. And the reason our culture is under attack, the reason our
Or
there's
breaking down,
breaking
rather.
down, there's
Hmm.
value wars and we're
Culture wars.
culture wars and all these different aspects, and we don't really know what the truth is anymore. We don't really know like
Who
who
to
to believe,
believe.
all those types of
Hmm.
things. And so having a healthy, strong, committed partnership in whatever form that takes. It doesn't necessarily need to mean monogamy or anything like that, but it's a committed partnership where you are
Leaning in.
leaning in, you're truthful with one another,
Hmm.
you're doing the work.
Yeah. And by the work, I would say is not sweeping things under the carpet, not going along to get along, looking at where you can take personal responsibility for how you're showing up in the relationship, the beliefs you're holding, the stance you're taking, the availability for curiosity and support and love that you may or may not be bringing. And when we can work on those things together, that has an impact on the people we surround ourselves with. For those of you that have children, it has a huge impact on the way your children grow up to feel safe and see a great model and partnership of love, as well as your extended families, your communities, your workplaces, the passion projects that you're up to in the world, the legacies that you're living. We believe that relationship, when strong, when allows the couple to lean in and do the work that required to have that great relationship or have that experience, that sends a ripple effect into how the rest of society
The relationship
happens.
itself is the ecosystem that feeds society. And like we've been in the breakdown of the nuclear family for a long time. This
Hmm.
has been happening since post World War II, where
Hmm.
radical individualism has come into to play. We're moving through many cycles. What's that theory,
The fourth turning.
the fourth turning?
Hmm.
We're in the fourth turning now, and you can look up what that means.
Basically means that we're in the fourth cycle of a typical pattern in society. And right now, the fourth cycle, the fourth turning, is a crisis moment where we're faced to, as a species, with a crisis, and we're seeing it everywhere with all the things we've already said so far, and that we have an opportunity for the next first cycle, the first turning, which is the high, which is to create new systems that are more stable, more structured in ways that serve relationship, that serve communities, that
Right.
serve the bigger picture. Exactly. So trust is something that is going to be very much valued because we have so much lack of trust in this fourth turning moment in the crisis.
Yeah. A lot of people are constantly wondering or asking, what can I do to, change the world or shift things up or have more impact? And the number one thing that you can do is work on your relationship and all of your relationships. But, starting with your romantic relationship, I think is very
Well,
important.
starting with your relationship to yourself,
Correct. Yes.
actually.
Starting with the relationship to yourself, and then from there, feeding that into your romantic relationship, and then all the other relationships in your life. And if you don't have a romantic relationship, then start with your community and your family and those types
Your
of things.
family is a good place to start.
Yeah, like if you're hating on your family or you're hating on this, that's where all the hate is in the world. That's why we're hating. That's why we're bombing. That's why we're continually raping and pillaging and stealing natural resources from other countries and going in and invading and taking their resources. This has been going on for centuries. It's
Yeah.
been going on for a long time.
It's a very adolescent behavior. And I believe that if we learn in these dynamics how to listen better, how to keep showing up at the table, how to keep choosing love over differences, I could go on and on and on. That when we practice these in our immediate environments, it has an impact in these bigger environment and political conversations, global conversations.
Yeah, like your connection, your bond as two individuals is the greatest contribution that you can give because it ripple effects to everything. If you have a great relationship here and you have a great relationship with your family and you have a great relationship there, you're going to start thinking about the relationship with nature. You're going to start thinking about, maybe it's not okay to, continually clear cut all these forests when the scientists have been saying for over 50 years now that it has a negative effect on our weather and our impact. And it's like the cycle, our food is reliant on the weather and the way that these cycles work. And maybe I'll stop buying products that continually perpetuate the degradation and dismantling of our earth. And it negatively affects us that we have to buy water in a plastic bottle now because it's not clean,
Mm.
that gets sent everywhere, where before you could just like drink it right out of the stream, and now you can't because there's so much pollution. I believe that we can still have all of the amazing necessities and luxuries. Like anybody alive now that lives in even a third world country, for the most part, definitely in the United States, even if you are the poorest of the poor, you are so much richer than people were, a few hundred years ago. Like not that long ago. Like the fact that you have running water and you're like, almost everyone has a cell phone or a TV. That's like luxury. And I believe that we can still have all of these luxuries without destroying our planet, without destroying each other, without invading everyone, without fighting all the time. I believe we can have more wealth.
And that requires the ability to have those conversations, to look at yourself, to be willing, to be open hearted in your day to day relationships with the people that you love the most. Relationship is the cornerstone of our entire society. Without healthy relationship, everything suffers.
Yep.
So we are very passionate about that. We're very passionate about leading the charge and giving a place for couples who also feel the same to gather around with us and discuss this and normalize some of the ways that we might have pathologized the relationship dynamics. And the more we do that work, and the more we do that work within communities, the faster we're going to see a change in the outward ecosystem of relational connections.
Cool.
Mhm.
Tune in for more. We've got links in our bio, links wherever around here. Click on them. Come hang out in our community.
Follow
Come
us, like
join
us, subscribe, all the
all those
things.